This is 9 News, first at 5.
Good afternoon. It's been an horrific 24 hours on Victorian roads with 5 people killed in separate incidents. As Matt Smithson reports, all 5 victims were male and all occurred in rural areas. A sex predator who carried out a horrific attack on 2 backpackers on a remote South Australian beach has been found not guilty of attempted murder but guilty of 6 other serious offences. The Brazilian and German women had trusted a man to drive them from Adelaide to Melbourne but only got as far as Salt Creek before he attacked them in February last year. After 12 hours of deliberations, a jury found the 60-year-old man sexually assaulted 1 tourist and brutally attacked the other. He's yet to be sentenced. Paramedics have treated 8 people following a brawl at Victoria's Port Phillip prison. Police say a male inmate and his male visitor assaulted staff members around 11:30 this morning in the visitors centre. 6 staff were transported to hospital, all in a stable condition. We'll have the latest on the incident for Melbourne viewers at 6 p.m. Preparations are well underway in North Queensland with tropical cyclone Debbie forming off the coast. With the latest tracking suggesting the system will hit land as a Category 4 cell, there are fears that the monster storm could be worse than predicted. Live now to Darren Curtis in air. Darren, what are the locals doing to get ready?
Now, at the moment, the state government has started to move resources towards this part of the coast. At the moment, there's extra paramedics up here, swiftwater rescue teams. We also have police in case there may be some looting after the initial storm passes through. But they are saying use this time now before the rain settles in to get your preparations in order, because this is no furphy. The storm is going to hit and it's going to be potentially a big one. Dougal.
Darren, thank you very much. 2 police officers in Sydney are lucky to be alive after crashing their marked patrol car. The officers were on their way to a domestic incident when their cage truck collided with a tip truck in Waterloo this morning. A 39-year-old constable was trapped for more than an hour before being taken to hospital with leg injuries. The officer who was driving was also treated for minor injuries. In the news ahead, a teen among 3 injured in a shooting in France. Police yet to determine if London attacker Khalid Massoud was working alone. And a rare cancer drug among hundreds of treatments added to the PBS. A 14-year-old boy is among at least 3 people injured in a shooting near a train station in France. Police placed the area into lockdown and found 10 bullet shells at the scene. Authorities have ruled out terrorism and said the attack was gang-related. The gunman remains on the run. Sports up next, and another nail-biting game for the Broncos in the NRL. The Crows soar to the first ever women's AFL premiership. And Steve Smith leads Australia to a strong start in the deciding test of the Tour of India.
For the first time, the brave families of Burke Street.
Where's ex-Tummy?
Tummy. The whole life just basically robbed of him.
A special episode of A Current Affair with the mothers and fathers whose lives changed forever.
He was the absolute light of our lives. He was absolutely perfect.
And out of the mayhem, the miracle that no one can believe. A Current Affair Monday.
In NRL, and finally, the Broncos have held on for a win against the Raiders. It wasn't without some tense moments though, Wayne Bennett's men only sealing the victory in the final minutes. Your Sunday weather forecast is next, but first here's a look at what's coming up in 9 News at 6.
Coming up on 9 News, North Queensland bracing as Tropical Cyclone Debbie officially forms off the coast. Bottled water and food flying off the shelves, residents race to prepare. From cancer drugs to heart medication, the prescription changes set to save you hundreds. Findings into the deaths of 2 construction workers at Eagle Farm revealed, and our brave Lions lose their fight for the maiden women's premiership. Those stories and more tonight at 6.
To the weather details now, and as we heard earlier, Tropical Cyclone Debbie has formed just off the Queensland coast, and Tropical Cyclone Caleb has developed east of the Cocos Islands, but it's not expected to affect Australia. Tomorrow, Tropical Cyclone Debbie will move closer, and hurricane force wind warning has been issued for the Townsville coast. But a fine and warm for Brisbane, 32, 26 for Sydney, cool in Perth, 22 with morning showers. And that is Nine's afternoon news. Our next bulletin is coming up at 6 o'clock. I'm Dougal Beatty. Thanks for your company.